Chapter 7. Armando nodded at the circle of faces lit by the fire. He forced a smile, praise, shouts of jubilation. He detests this part of leadership. Chants about his heroism rang across the night air, and praises for the blessings from God echoed around him. Some even declared him a saint. Too many times they entwined his name with deity. How wrong of his dear friends, especially if they knew how he defied Dios. Do you not see? I covet the end of tyranny and injustice, not fame or glory. I am only one man seeking to help my people keep their homes. I offer you little but a strong will, and the education I received from the padres. And what if I fail? What will your chance be then? If he were to die in the midst of the battle for La Flor, who would lead them? Emilio shared in Armando's vision for his people. But Armando feared his friend's devotion to Dios weakened his determination, and Philippe, he cared only for himself. There had to be a way to return to Senorita and still keep La Flor. The visit earlier this afternoon from Juan Torres caused Armando even more turmoil. He remembered every word, and the agonized grief on Juan's face as he pleaded for the Senorita. I have come to talk to you about Senorita Phillips, Juan had said, interrupting Armando's instructions to his men about leaving at daybreak. Armando glanced up, surprised to see the head stableman of his enemy's hacienda. It was too soon to receive words from Phillips. I have nothing to discuss. You know our purpose. Can we talk in private? Juan asked, his tone respectfully yet forcefully. I'm busy, Armando sighed. I have more important things to do. Emilio stood beside his brother. Por favor, for the sake of our friendship, listen to what my brother has to say. Armando felt the secret scrutiny of his men. They respected Emilio and often looked to him for guidance. Armando studied Juan's face and saw the telltale signs of horror etched around his eyes. Although the man had refused to spy on Senor Phillips, Armando knew him to be as stalwart as Emilio. Kicking his boots into the dirt, Armando deliberated a moment more. Let's take a walk and I'll listen. Together the two men headed away from the ears of the villagers. Juan kept pace with Armando, not allowing his crippled leg to slow them down. At first they spoke of an early spring, Mustang herds beyond the valley, and the increased amount of sheep and cattle around them. My friend, I'm ready to hear what you have to say. Armando said, I apologize for my rudeness earlier. Juan nodded, and they ambled towards the winding path leading to the hills away from the valley. Both men wiped perspiration from their faces in the heat of the afternoon. Your prisionera is like a daughter to me. Covenants laced Juan's words. For me to ignore what is happening is to desert one of my children. We both know Senor Phillips may not be found in time to bring word to you. Are you saying Senor Phillips has not sent a rider after her husband? Armando asked. Have they no love for the Senorita, especially since she chose to take the place of her madre? At the moment, Juan looked much like Emilia, wide-set eyes, revealing the weight of his heart. See, she did send a vaquero up after him. Then Senor Phillips will return home in time to save his daughter. Juan peered out to the hills and leaned on his straight leg. I fear many things, Armando. Senor Phillips can be a harsh man, and he may decide to destroy the whole valley for what you've done to his family. I have spies, maybe so, but you could help guarantee the safety of our people by allowing me to take the Senorita home. Juan's voice was edged with emotion. No, I must fulfill my vow. Armando stiffened with his reply. This is the way I have chosen. Have you asked Dios for help? Armando thought through his words carefully. To deny God when his people worship him meant losing their esteem. Have you not heard my people? All of them seek Dios for our success. I'm not one man imploring Dios to grant us victory, but many men, women, and children lifting prayers to the heavens. Juan fixed a steady gaze into Armando's face. Our Dios does not condone murder. The Padres have told us the stories of King David and his mighty armies. I read them while studying at the missions. Many people were killed. Are you comparing yourself to King David? This is not the same. You have kidnapped an innocent young senorita to hold as ransom for your demands, a young woman who already sides with your plight. Armando tapped his boot against the ground to contain his fury. How easy for you to judge. You live in the safety of Senor Phillips' hacienda. Your children have food to eat and clothes to wear. My people, he waved his hand back towards the floor, will have nothing if we are forced to leave the valley. Our children will starve. The senorita is sympathetic to us. How easy for the rich to throw crumbs to the poor. Juan's face flushed red. He wet his lips before speaking. The missions are there to help. The missions. One more ploy of the Spanish to keep us under their thumbs. They make laws to benefit themselves, then have the padres dictate to our people how they should live as though the mandates were from God. Let's not argue, Armando. I do not come to arouse your anger, but to plead for the senorita. I believe Dios always has a better way, one that does not involve killing the innocent. The innocent are the ones I'm trying to protect. He slowly gained control of his anger. I will keep her to bargain for La Flor. I believe her father will allow us to live on our land. I don't understand you. Neither do I accept your decision. The thought of the senorita dying or losing my friends and family here grieves me. I wish I could make the decision right, but my Deus holds the power in his hands. Prayer is the best weapon I can carry, and I will use it night and day. Tense, heavy silence settled upon them. Armando sighed and laid his hand upon Juan's shoulder. Stay with us, eat and rest before you journey back. If I miss, there will be trouble for my family. May I see the senorita before I leave? No, mi amigo. It will not be wise. Juan narrowed his eyes. You would deny a father the right to see his daughter, perhaps, if she was really your daughter. Armando forced a slight smile. It's better this way. Juan turned and limped back towards the village. Armando watched him secure his horse and ride away without a word to anyone, even Amelia. Now, as Armando steadied his gaze into the flickering firelight, he regretted denying Juan the right to visit the senorita. Juan considered her as one of his own. He even believed the senorita decided with the villagers. Tomorrow he planned to tell Amelia of his poor decision and apologize to Juan at the first opportunity. After all, Armando possessed honor among the people, and he intended to maintain his position. Juan had been right. Shedding innocent blood was not the way to secure peace for his people, but how? I am nothing but a poor man leading a ragged troop of farmers. A man who loves his people. I desire only to see them live in peace and watch the children grow. He studied his captive, who also seemed to engage her thoughts in the flames lapping at the fire logs. He wondered about her fear, and if she truly felt her father was wrong in his plans to take the valley. Joan said she sided with La Flor. Again, remorse nudged at him for too many things. Marianne sensed Armando's gaze upon her, but she maintained her musings and stared into the fire. What thoughts rippled through his mind when it came to her? Was he considering how Papa would get revenge for her kidnapping? Until she had heard Armando speak his heart, she hated him. Now she better understood his reasoning and determination, but he was terribly misguided. The soft sounds of the guitar soothed the chaos in her spirit. She inwardly smiled. Mama had insisted she learn to play the piano, and Marianne had practiced with fever. The sweet lilt had comforted her when Papa's stern words and action had torn at her heart, and the music of tonight held the same effect. Papa, how wonderful if he would ride into La Flor and demand that Armando release her. She's my daughter and I love her, Papa would declare. How foolish of me, still dreaming of things that will never happen. Exhausted, she fought the stinging in her eyes to keep from weeping. Oh, for a whole night's sleep without the painful ropes. She didn't care where. She even welcomed the hard-dirt floor. Leaning her head back, she closed her eyes and massaged her neck and shoulders. The pounding in her head had grown worse. Mama would have suggested a cup of tea with a hint of honey. Marianne started. Something touched her side. At first she thought it was a dog, but a quick glance revealed a small boy had snuggled beside her. He peered up into her face, and tousled of thick, dark hair rippled across his forehead. Instinctively she wrapped her arms around his shoulders. He smiled and nestled closer. He couldn't have been more than 3 years old, trusting, warm, and so little. She kissed the tips of his nose and delighted in the childlike smell of him. It didn't matter that he needed a bath. Camilla once said children should play as hard as their parents work. The child lay his head upon her lap and drew his knees to his body. She brushed her fingers across his soft cheeks. How good of God to bring her this glimpse of him. Marianne swallowed a sob. Heavenly Father, forgive my selfish ways. How could I ever have doubted you? I do not deserve your mercies, your love. I know you are here, as you have always been. I surrender my fears to you, no matter what becomes of me. The child's hand slipped into hers, confirming to her his presence. A wave of peace settled upon her. Armando, still seated at Marianne's left side, bent forward. She felt his scrutiny penetrate the shadows, and she met his gaze. Nothing audible passed between them, but she sensed the sight of the child resting in her lap, softening his austere disposition. She turned her attention back to the child and continued to stroke his face. With her head bowed, she wept for more reasons than she cared to list. Armando reached across her lap and stirred the child. Little one, where is your madre? The little boy pushed himself up and looked about him. Confusion etched his angelic features. Rico? Armando lifted the child's chin and studied his face in the shadows. The little boy's lips quivered. Where is your padre? Rico looked into the crowd and then back at Armando and Marianne. He shrugged and laid his head down without releasing her hands. Amanda stood and scooped Rico up into his arms. He walked into the guitar player and silenced him with a nod. The crowd also hushed. Little Rico's looking for his padre. Pepe, where are you? Thanks for listening.